1910, o Scott foi na dele, aí o chefe...
Foi na dele, mesmo caminho,
foi. E aí o Scott consegue chegar. Encontra a marca dos trilhos 3 dias antes e vê marcas de esqui, sabe que eram os noruegueses que estiveram lá.
Mas aí o Scott já não voltou mais como herói, ou nem voltou.
Não, ele morreu. Ele morreu na volta. Isso tudo aqui é um ice shelf, isso aqui são quase 1000 quilômetros. Só que tem um paredão de gelo. Aqui é o nível do mar. Mas de repente o Polo Sul está aqui a 3.000 metros de altura.
Desculpe minha ignorância, mas eu acho... Nós estamos aonde aqui?
Aqui é a América do Sul.
Nós estamos onde?
Nós estamos num lugar que é conhecido como a cidade do fim do mundo, Ushuaia, extremo sul da Terra do Fogo, na Argentina, a cidade mais austral do planeta.
Vai levar a gente até a Antártica.
Aquela mosca lá?
É.
A Antártida é, na verdade, o último trecho de uma expedição que antes já havia passado pelas dunas da Namíbia e pelos cânions do Arizona. Nós buscávamos imagem para a nova campanha de cigarros Hollywood. Éramos 312 profissionais de 5 países. Olha, foi uma grande aventura. Nem parece que nós estamos aqui agora, né? Mas eu imaginava, desde quando nós estávamos lá, nós imaginávamos...
Nevou no deserto e não...
Bom, nevou no deserto, a região era árida, crateras imensos, uma mina. Nós chegamos para ver a locação num dia, estava chovendo, estava um tempo feio, fechado, garoa. A locação bárbara, os cânions e tal. E no dia seguinte nós voltamos lá. Quando nós voltamos lá tinha 1 metro de neve em tudo.
No Arizona?
1 metro de neve.
E há quanto tempo não acontece isso?
50 anos. Quando nevou, paralisou.
Merda.
Apesar do Anthony ser um sujeito fantástico, jovem.
Quem que é o Anthony?
O Anthony era o diretor do filme do Arizona.
Most directors want to do movies, features, stories, and what the possibility with this film and makes it so new for me. I've done other ones which are big, but they weren't a storyline. The cigarette commercials generally remind me of 1980, the early time, and they're cliche and they're tired and they've seen so many things which are before. And what I wanted to do was push it as much as possible. So it has an element of mystery, but also an element of danger, but danger which is much more faster and a sense of a storyline which is exciting for people to watch. The hardest thing is to try and tell a story, because making motorbikes and the action just become an action movie. But I want people to understand the story. I want them to understand the characters, to understand the people's feelings.
7 November, go.
Contemporary, it's something at the end of the 90s. The way they behave, the way they look at each other, the way their relationships are.
He looks really good, I think. I think we need some more international flags on. He's a little bit on him, maybe 1 on him and 3 on her.
International flags?
Just flags and some symbolism of something which gives a sense that they traveled.
Okay. Yeah, we tried to make it a little more sportsmanlike, a little more action adventure. A lot of the elements we have, like the helicopters, and there's like a military feel. So to try and start with these elements like helicopters and take them away, that was kind of the challenge of what we had to do in terms of design.
I'm working with Anthony to try to create a unusual look for this project, and I think that's the most interesting aspect.
Everyone, including Maya, the cameraman, the art director, don't get to do this very often. And I think you can see the excitement when they shoot in terms of this, the planning and the 2 weeks of things to try and pull it off. I think it's going to be a very unique spot.
No dia seguinte abriu o sol e a gente fez a cena fantástica dos helicópteros dentro do Grand Canyon. Sim, 40 minutos de voo, fiz 12 horas de filme. Foi o tempo que eu tive para fazer as fotos desse helicóptero. E ainda através do vidro e com o espaço entre o piloto e o câmera, o operador de câmera. Aí, como as produções eram independentes, cada filme tem seu diretor e sua produtora, o filme da Namíbia ia começar na data prevista. Então nós resolvemos ir para a Namíbia.
The overall concept, to me, is a very, very exciting one. It's a concept about people pushing the limit. It's about people going out and doing things that every man wants to do. I think that commercials today may in some ways provide greater opportunities than feature films, because a lot of times a feature film works with a budget per minute far, far lower than the cost per minute that we spend on television. So we can use all of the best equipment, we can use all of the best people in certain sports, we can compress this into 60 seconds.
Take your hand down. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. Follow those guys. All right. Bend down. Finger. All right. Yeah. All right. There we go. Okay. Head in that direction. Follow those guys. All right. Bend down. Finger. All right.
Keep up on the rocking, guys. The rocking is too steady. It's too steady, Jack.
most difficult part, I think, is bringing the equipment. Certain props like the Hummers, that's probably the biggest problem. There are only 2 Hummers in this part of Africa. The only other Hummers that are available are in Saudi Arabia and somewhere else in the Middle East.
The vehicle is mostly used for army purposes in America. For instance, in the Gulf War, they used it extensively. And there's a gradient that climbs to 80 degrees. And the Hummer was the only vehicle that could do it. You can inflate and deflate the tires from inside your vehicle. I would say it can do about anything.
Well, that's a Unimog, made in Germany. And then the big thing here is, if you've got in reverse, for instance, you've got 4 gears in reverse and 4 gears into the front. But if you go forward, you've got high and low, so that give you another 8 gears that you can speed on.
This is a Harvard 86, although in the United States it's called a Texan. And she's 55 years old now. That was nice. Being a helicopter driver, before the time we spoke about it, and we discussed what we're going to fly and how we're going to fly it. And firstly, I was next to him with the camera taking shots of me, and then secondly, he came right over my tail with a nose camera to take some nice shots of me flying down the desert. Fantastic.
Well, the conditions that we're working in are not usual. We got the heat, we got the sand, wind. It's very tiring. We have 1.3 tons of camera equipment that's coming out every day and going in 4 different directions, coordinating all of that. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very taxing, and it's going to be a great commercial.
Excellent. Go, go, go.
In this campaign, I put together a team of some of the top people in the world who do the sport. We brought in the world champion snowboarder in Kevin Delaney, man's #1 in the world, to do this campaign.
Hello, how are you? I'm Kevin Delaney, 1993-94 overall world snowboard champion. Here in Namibia, sandboarding for my first time. What an experience.
That was good. The sand is a little bit slow, so you need to start going straight down the hill to pick up a lot of speed, and then once we get going, we can make more turns down the sand. It's very good.
I got that.
Compared to snow, it's a little bit more difficult.
We brought a bunch of snowboards over from the U.S. to test them on the dunes here, but we found out that Formica works really, really well, and we're having some boards modified here and putting Formica bottom sheets to make them go faster. Then we get this really wild furniture wax, slip it on the bottom.
Lavender flavor.
Lavender flavor, yeah. You can get some on your girlfriend if you want. This is unbelievable.
We are now here. We are bound here. This area. This area. Our way in this direction.
Mas nós vamos filmar onde?
Exatamente aqui. Essa área aqui, mais ou menos, é antes.
Isso daqui quantos dias a previsão para chegar aí?
How many days you think we will be in King George? How many hours? Maybe tomorrow night?
I don't know.
Os navios entraram pelo canal de Lemaire, que fica atrás dessa montanha. Dá para ter uma ideia da altura da garganta pela escala dos navios. E saíram do outro lado, lá do sul do Lemaire, aqui na Baía de Plenot, que é o lugar onde vai se ficar por alguns dias.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. Dinner is now served, and we wish you bon appétit.
This is a tough deal because myself and the other riggers are in a position to have to establish the safety of a particular iceberg, and these icebergs are constantly in a state of disintegration. This is a very, very tough show in here.
I climbed out of the boat. It was quite good ice in the bottom. We went up to the small platform. I found a place where there's a crack. I hit the crack, and it went, and you could feel it. I mean, they heard it on the other side of the iceberg. I could hear inside, like, some kind of moving inside. The kind of thing I saw there, I thought, maybe it's just big, the whole thing falls apart.
This kind of sea ice that's been under the water fractures very, very easily. And it's a matter of whether or not we can put the people on the wall and protect them in the event of some catastrophic thing, like a big chunk of ice just spontaneously breaking off under the impact of us being there. It's designed to get the camera away from the wall and observe the climbing from out and away from it instead of close to the wall. And it puts the audience in kind of an upside-down perspective and really creates the feeling of steepness and kind of a radical environment.
It's a fantastic place to work in. It's, of course, a challenge to keep the equipment working and pushing us and the equipment to the limits all the time. But it's very inspiring to be in this incredible environment.
Very, very nice. I think when we first get up there and you look down and you see, definitely a strange feeling when you sit back and you think, if you got a moment and you look around and you think you're just on this moving piece of ice. you really ask yourself, you know, what are you doing here?
Stop. It's both a physical and a mental challenge to figure out sequences of moves either on rock or ice, and it is a balance of your mind and your body.
I believe in climbing terms there are two different types of climbers. I believe there are artists and there are engineers. I climb a lot with my stomach, my intuition. I climb by feeling. It's not conscious thought here. It's here.
See, this is my lucky charm. And when I wear this around my neck, everything's going to be okay for all of us, the weather and everything.
Existe uma parcela de risco consciente nesse tipo de trabalho. Eu acho que a gente usou a nossa cota de sorte. Hoje as condições de tempo pioraram bastante, então se decidiu procurar uma outra locação.
You know, yesterday, Marcelo, we went out on the raft up the canyon, up the channel here, and what was incredible was we had the boat with our talent in, and then a humpback whale which just came huge, like a submarine, in front of the boat, and it was just so fantastic. I think that was a really, really powerful moment. I think there's times when you're standing on those icebergs, you feel very small and very fragile, and you see a human as a tiny little nothingness on this planet.
Well, a lot of times it becomes a matter of just sheer endurance when you're shooting outside and the conditions are, you're in the cold or you're in the wet or, you know, and you're just trying to maintain a level of energy where you can really focus and concentrate on what it is that you're trying to do.
Os limites de cada principalmente a parte física, eu acho que quando a gente trabalha com esse tipo de coisa, eu entro em transe. Você está em estado de transe, está fora de si, então você não sente cansaço.
The limits are probably time and money. Sometimes it's a financial thing, sometimes it's just what's available to you.
Once again, you must assess each situation. Now, when you get to a location, you assess what you've got, and then you go, if it's for a movie, you give the director your limits, and you tell him you can't go lower or higher, whatever, and that's basically my limits.
O limite meu, acho que é não parar. Quero continuar sempre. Eu faria isso que eu estou fazendo agora a vida inteira sem parar.
O meu limite é contar uma história, ter a imagem. Para fazer a imagem, eu não tenho limite.
Every time I do a project, I look at the last project and say, how can I push it further? Some projects give you a great opportunity to push. Some give less opportunity. This is a project that has no limits.